Meet us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Google+. Hey guys, this is Phil from Undercage.com, and this is LG G Flex 2, the successor to the original LG G Flex. Although they share the name, there's not exactly much things that they share in common. Aside from the fact that they are the current smartphones, a lot of things were improved and a lot of things got changed. The first thing that you'll notice is the design is a very squarish. It's got that silver ring around the phone that's not exactly great. Samsung dished this like a few months ago. LG still has this. All right, let's get into the details. It's got a receiver on the top, 2.1 megapixel front-facing camera on top, and that's not exactly high in resolution. It's this selfie kind of age. Doesn't really take good pictures either, so that's kind of disadvantage over here. If you're paying that much, you should get a good selfie with your phone, even if you're not exactly a selfie kind of person. There's a 5.5 inches of a Full HD POLED display. LG has improved a lot from the original G Flex. Both in resolution and color density, but the colors are not still clear enough like the Samsung AMOLED, and it's not exactly the best display that you can find. The LG logo kind of got innovated too. You might not be able to spot the differences unless you compare it with the previous LG phones that has thicker font on their logo, but nothing big. You can see that this phone is slightly curved, and also you can just press it against the floor to make it flat, temporarily at least. And when you're dropping this phone on the floor, this thing is gonna curve and probably get some of the force or the damage inside, and then it's gonna be safer than the other phones. That's at least what LG claims. On the right, there's nothing, nor on the left. On the back, there's a key here, volume up, down, and the power key. 13 megapixel camera and the infrared autofocus sensor right there. So it basically shoots out the infrared, no, not infrared, laser autofocus. It shoots laser and it gets autofocus even when you're in the dark position. There's a LED flash over there and a carrier logo, speaker, and a LG logo. This color is called Flamenco Red, and battery cover is detachable. You can detach the battery cover and get access to the micro SIM card and the micro SD card slot there. The battery is not detachable. It's got a 3000 milliamps of battery that does not perform very well at all. All right, the little size comparison goes with the 5.5 inches of a LG G Flex 2 and the HTC One M8, if you will, and the Galaxy S6. Since we're talking about the curved one, we can, of course, include the Galaxy S6 Edge right there. All right, so let's get into the details. So this G Flex 2 is a state-of-the-art phone of the LG. So you can unlock the screen over here, and this gets you to the LG launcher. The LG launcher, or the LG UI, or whatever you want to call, is renovated with the LG Lollipop update, and it's actually pretty clean and neat. It's got the launcher, it's got the settings, it's got that basic things. But the thing here is that it's got a Snapdragon 810, and it's not exactly the best processor in the world. It probably is aiming to be one of the worst mobile processors that the world has ever seen. It lags while scrolling out from the notification bar. This is partly due to the LG's fault and partly to the Qualcomm's fault. But one of the things that you should note is that this is even with these animation set at half the rate of what it's supposed to be. So if you would revert it back to the 1x of the screen animation scale, it gets worse. Let's try this at the, whoa, I'm not exactly looking at the screen. So if you would set it as the original speed, it's actually really slow. Anything that animates gives me a heart attack. It's really slow. It takes their time. And this is partly LG's fault, but Android version ranges at 5.0.2, and that's not exactly the latest. And Google is going to bring it with the update very soon, so if you want to wait for that, you can do that. It's actually 5.0.1. It's actually even older than I thought. Okay, that said, we have to talk about the Snapdragon 810. There's a lot of controversies whether that's a bad processor, good processor. Actually, I haven't seen anyone who says it's good. But when you run a benchmark, Antutu gives us about the 55,000 of the Antutu scores, which is actually pretty good. But if you continue on running the benchmark, it gets down to the 45,000, 35,000, and it's really, really hot processor in the same time. LG has said that they fixed it by killing two big cores, but that's not exactly a good solution. If you kill two cores, then what's the point of having the latest processor? The 35,000 is as low as Snapdragon 600. That was like 2-3 years ago. So the performance overall is not exactly critically bad, but it's worse than the Snapdragon 801 or 85, even than 800. So what's the point of having a latest processor? I really don't get that. But that's the Qualcomm's part, partly. Then has LG done the right thing about the part that they could have done good? I tried looking at some photos on this guy. This was actually taken with the front-facing camera, so they not be exactly the fairest, but camera quality is unbearable. And if you might want to move on to a low lighting condition, this was fried chicken that I had yesterday, and you can zoom in, and everything is so blurred out. Everything is so blurred out that I can't see the details of these things. When we compare this with the other photos of the other phones, like the Galaxy S6, it gives us even more differences. I'm not exactly a fan of compare and contrast kind of person, but if you want a photo here, there are so much details in the Galaxy S6 photos, and this does not only resist in the Galaxy S6, but also in a lot of other phones. Their photos so much better than the G Flex 2. And what about the sound? Sound is actually pretty okay. The speaker is actually loud enough, and the sound quality with the earphones is actually pretty good. But another thing that I had in mind was the LG's user interface. So let's say that this is a lollipop thing merely. Let's say that on the lock screen it displays notifications, and those are the notifications that didn't have much space to be displayed on the screen. So in that case you can tap and read more about it, or you can double tap and read more about it. But on the LG's lock screen, there's no way that I can get control or even get to know of what's there. I can tap there and it's going to ask me to swipe. I can tap twice and it's going to do the same thing. So I can tap, swipe, wait it to show up. And that's not exactly the handiest way of handling it. So G Flex 2 overall is not exactly a terrible phone. It's an interesting phone. It's got a appealing design to some of you, and it's got a powerful processor that doesn't really perform very good in the real life. So it's not a bad phone, but is it a good phone at the price point? It's actually a very, very pricey phone. It's over $700, and for that price, you can get two of the G3s. And there is nothing that G Flex 2 is better than the G3. Snapdragon 801 and the 810, of course, that sounds better with the 810's advantage, but if you start using it for a few minutes, it's gonna get hot and it's gonna get throttled, and there's nothing good that G Flex 2 is better than the LG G3. And that's when we want to get fair and compare with the fellow LG phones. If you want to bring in something like Galaxy S6, the case gets even worse. Everything is better with the Galaxy S6, and it stays the same with probably all the other phones. And G Flex 2 is a great toy. It's got all the neat features. It's flexible. It's Snapdragon 810 and everything. But the battery life is really bad too. It's got only 3.5 hours of the screen on time. That's bad as a flagship. So there's nothing, pretty much nothing that I liked about the G Flex 2, especially considering its price point. So if you're considering about getting a G Flex 2, there are lots of better phones out there. There are a lot of options that even look better than this, that have a better screen, better processor, better battery life, better everything, and of course a better camera. So consider yourself of getting any other phones. There are a lot of options. Welcome to Market Society. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.